Driving sustainable, inclusive growth requires the right mindset, strategy, and capabilities. US strategy giant McKinsey and Company has put forwarded some steps that could help foster successful growth. Having said that, we will be discussing on one of the McKinsey's publications published in July 2022, themed as Choosing to Grow, the Leader's Blueprint. Growth is something every CEO and business leader aspires to deliver, but for many, it remains elusive. About a quarter of companies don't grow at all, and between 2010 and 2019, only 1 in 8 achieved more than 10% revenue growth annually, as per McKinsey's research. Sustained, profitable growth is possible, however, and it comes down to choice. With only 1 in 10 S&P 500 companies reporting growth above GDP for more than 30 years, sustained, profitable growth may seem difficult, but the choice to grow is paramount, and it is advisable to every leader, regardless of industry or economic climate. Indeed, many high growth companies, including Hewlett-Packard, Burger King, Hyatt Hotels, Microsoft, and Airbnb, to name a few, were founded during economic downturns. This exhibit states that following this holistic growth blueprint, achieving sustainable, profitable growth is possible. However, there are three pillars. Number one, set an aspirational mindset and culture, fostering an inclusive and sustainable mindset and setting bold, actionable ambitions and developing a culture championed by all stakeholders. Companies that have successfully adopted growth mindsets are 2.4 times more likely to outperform. Number two, activate pathways. Under that, expanding the core, innovating into adjacencies, and igniting breakout businesses are paramount. Companies are 97% more likely to outperform when they invest in multiple pathways for growth. Number three, execution with excellence. Under that, there are several critical things named as laying the foundation, growth operating model, and dynamic resource reallocation. Programmatically execute on inorganic opportunities such as ecosystems, mergers and acquisitions, alliances, and joint ventures. Finally, developing functional capabilities such as marketing, customer experiences, sales and channel, digital, and innovation. Having the right growth oriented operating models and capabilities deliver three times more total shareholder return than peers. This figure demonstrates growth leaders set, communicate, and commit to growth consistently and with significant resourcing. Mindsets growth leaders share 70% prioritize speed over perfection. Further, 70% make multiple long term growth bets rather than just a few. 70% build an understanding of customers' needs through formal and informal methods such as ethnography, surveys, in store visits, and etc. 60% have a clear multi year mandate to pursue growth initiatives and the autonomy to do so without having to show short term results. 80% communicate growth successes often, internally and externally. Those that adopt three or more of these mindsets are 2.4 times more likely to outperform their peers. This exhibit demonstrates growth begins with the core. However, growth leaders expand beyond the core to drive growth. Weighted average share of total revenue growth is nearly 82% of revenue growth comes from core growth, and also 12% of growth comes from adjacency growth, whereas 6% of growth comes from breakout growth. This shows distribution of growth varies by sector. Accordingly, could be noted that highest core growth has been recorded in healthcare sector, whereas contribution from adjacency growth is greater in banks and diversified financials. Simultaneously, breakout growth is considerably high in material sector, and this shows IT, industrials, consumer discretion, consumer staples, telco services sectors as well, and their growth contributions by core, adjacency, and breakout growth prospects. Whatever the exact mix of strategies and focus areas, growth leaders are maximizing their core through all available means, and they are twice as likely to report having identified pockets of growth within their existing businesses. Such strategies could be identified as innovate into adjacencies. Having a strong core is essential. Outperformers build beyond it to achieve their growth aspirations. Businesses that expand into adjacent industries or segments are 20% more likely to achieve greater growth than their peers. Another strategy is to ignite breakout businesses. According to McKinsey research, on more than 1,000 business leaders on average, executives believe 50% of their revenues will come from new products, services, or businesses within the next 5 years. Not surprisingly, many are looking beyond natural adjacencies to exploit entirely new business opportunities. Between 2018 and 2020, new business building doubled its appearances among the top three times items on executive agendas. Built for growth operating models and resource allocation is another strategy. Leaders who fully commit to grow choose these initiatives for purposeful and assertive investment and are 60% more likely to regularly reallocate resources from lower return to higher return spaces. These leaders fund more dynamically, relying less on historical budgets that can be psychologically anchoring, and they actively explore how to fuel growth without eroding their existing core businesses. Another aspect is execute with excellence. This is the critical and third portion of the timeless holistic growth blueprint, where strategy meets action and orchestrated execution is a final step in achieving growth. Execution works hand in hand with strategy to empower leaders to make the right choices at the right time to drive both short term and long term growth. Another strategy is to strengthen ecosystems, mergers and acquisitions, and joint ventures. Specialization in CEO sameness is a differentiator. That's why growth leaders often look outside of their businesses to find quick access to complementary skills and capabilities to buy or scale innovation and growth. Those who do this are 30 to 50% more likely to continually scan for these types of alliances, joint ventures, and M&A opportunities. Another aspect is functional capabilities. Execution is impossible without the right functional strengths and grow leaders' identity which new functional capabilities are needed or need to change to support growth initiatives, both in the short term and over longer term innovation horizons. blueprint defines the timeless elements on which leaders need to focus diligently once they have made a deliberate and purposeful choice to grow. This blueprint prepares an organization to grow in the face of timely jolts. With that, we'll be concluding the presentation. For more of this kind of videos or presentations, kindly Google Gayan Nayanajith. Thanks for watching.